Hey, sister.
Hey, sister.
Last week we rewatched Officer and a Gentleman, and I was so excited about it.
I know.
And it just, like I said, it didn't hit for me. It was just like Deborah Winger typecast all over again. Poor thing. But I'm really excited about this week's Rewind.
Well, this week we're trading in the Navy base for a big old house, some old friends, and a lot of vibes.
Yes, we are. Also, we have a special guest, a real fan favorite, and a true friend to our show.
Yes, we do. Welcome to actor, director, producer, writer, professor, daddy, husband, brother, son, but most importantly to us, friend. Welcome to Miles Doleac. Woo-hoo!
Woohoo!
Hello, Amanda and Missy. What a pleasure to be back on Real Sisters.
Third time. You're our first.
You're our first.
Third time's the charm.
And you are first person in this. We have not had any guests this season.
Yeah.
Well, I am both honored and privileged to be here to talk about a film that meant a great deal to me growing up as a young film aficionado.
Yes, near and dear to your heart. All right, Miles, it is time to get into this week's episode. And we've never had a guest do the segue. Are you up for it?
Am I up for it? You know I am. All right, real fans, pour yourself a glass of wine, make yourself a chilled martini.
Oh.
Put on some great music because this week's film is chocked full of it. In fact, contains three of my favorite songs of all time on the soundtrack: Whiter Shade of Pale by Procol Harum, Tracks of My Tears, Smokey Robinson and the Miracles, and of course, The Weight by the band, and an all-star ensemble cast. Get ready to relax and have some fun. It's time to chill out with Lawrence Kasdan's The Big Chill.
I'm Amanda.
And I'm Missy, and this is Real Sisters Rewind.
Join us as we go back to the 80s.
Hey, real fans, we're glad you're here with us for another rewind into the films that shaped the 80s. We're two sisters and a guest who grew up on these movies and still love diving back into them with you.
And if you're enjoying the podcast, don't forget to subscribe, leave us a 5-star rating, and write a quick review.
And when you do, take a screenshot and email it to hello@realsistersrewind.com. We're mailing Real Sister stickers as a thank you.
All right, real fans, sister, Miles, let's go. Let's rewind to the year our movie was released, 1983.
All right, everyone. The Big Chill hit U.S. theaters on September 30th, 1983. September 30th is Madison's birthday.
Yes, it is.
I had just turned 7 on the 20th. About how old were you guys at that point?
Well, Miles, you were probably pretty close to Amanda's age.
Yeah, if I was 7, you were probably 8.
Well, I would turn 8 on November 20th.
November.
Yeah. That's right.
Okay. And I was a sophomore in high school. And so obviously, I didn't see it in theaters either. As a matter of fact, I just saw it all the way through for this rewind.
Really?
Yes. I mean, I had seen clips and pieces and parts like on TBS and all that, but I don't think I have. But what about y'all? When was the first time you both saw it?
I know when I saw it. Do you know when you saw it for the first time?
I saw it probably about the year 1988.
So not in theaters.
I did not see it in theaters. It was, of course, rated R.
That never stopped you before.
No, well, as a nearly 8-year-old, I was probably a little young for this movie, but
A little.
A little young.
But I did start renting movies very early on, the old VHS rental. My parents allowed me to rent this movie from Videophile on Hardy Street.
Video file.
You remember Videophile on Hardy
I
Street?
do. I thought you were going to say the one Missy and I refer to a lot, which is that it's where, what's that? It's like on Oak Grove Road and there's like a T. There was a gas station there.
It was
and
like
they had
it wasn't like up by the school. It's farther toward 98
it would be like
West.
where we lived, we would turn to go to your house, like at that
Yes.
turn. There was like a little gas station and they had
They did a little
it
addition.
was a curb store that had like rentals, like Videophile.
I don't recall that one. We always rented either from Buck-A-Day. You remember Buck-A-Day in the Arbor?
Yes.
Or Videophile. Because Videophile was sort of on the way home from my dad's office. So I would find myself at my dad's office when he was about to get off of work, and I'd make him stop at Videophile. And I remember very clearly renting this movie primarily because of the soundtrack. My parents had the soundtrack on vinyl, and of course, it's exquisite, as I mentioned in the opening, just banger after banger. And so I wanted to see the movie. It was full of actors that already had very, very promising careers. And I've always been drawn to the sort of nostalgic, old friends reconnecting, ripping the Band-Aid off of old wounds. From a very early age, those kinds of relationship dramas resonated with me. So it was a film that I really wanted to see. And
was it the first of that kind that you ever saw that you remember?
It may well have been. It may well have been, and maybe that's why it struck a chord with me.
Maybe so.
Yeah.
What about you, sister? When did you see it?
Well, first, I just wanted to say him talking about the soundtrack. That was one of our clues last week, was how the soundtrack is like a character of its own. I saw it. Well, first of all, Miles is the one I remember in like 6th grade, him talking about this. Like, that's how I knew about this movie. He introduced it to me, but I didn't watch it then. I don't think. I believe, to my memory, the first time I saw it was in high school, like on a rental, same situation.
Yeah.
And I kind of think maybe it was with Clifton. Like, I feel like all these rentals, like Clifton was in the mix. You may have been there. It could very well be. But I feel like Clifton was in the mix for that. I feel like he was always a part of, like Terms of Endearment. He was part of that, like renting the old movies. So
it was such a good crew for that too.
Yeah, it was a good time for it.
Yeah. It was such a delight going to the video store and renting movies back in the day.
It really was.
That's an element of our culture that I really miss.
Me too. I miss going to the movies a lot.
I do too.
Do you remember?
I miss good movies that I want to go to the movie to see.
Do you remember, though, how disappointing it would be if you reached for the box and behind it
was nothing?
Surprise! The movie's been rented.
Yep.
That was awful. That was such a disappointment. And you would have to immediately go to the counter and be like, has anybody turned in the Big Chill?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you would go, they'd have them stacked up where people had brought them in. And it was aggravating when people didn't follow the rules and they weren't kind.
To rewind,
yeah. Well, let's hop into our pop culture spotlight for the week of September 30th. The number one song in the U.S. was Tell Her About It by the great Billy Joel. It had actually just that week hitting the top spot on the Billboard 100.
I loved that song. I love Billy Joel, but I
love most any song he sings.
Yeah, me too. There's one that I don't like, but that's okay.
Yeah, there's a couple, but
I was checking out the Billboard Hot 100 for the year 1983, and it is just banger after banger. The number one song of 1983 on the Billboard Top 100. You know what it is, Missy? I know Amanda knows what it is.
Oh.
I don't.
Every Breath You Take by The Police.
I'll be watching you.
I
Still,
literally knew you were going to say that when I saw it on my research. I was like, he's going to say this.
every time I hear the opening strains of that song, it still takes me to a place. Just an iconic tune.
Isn't that great that music does that for us?
Oh, yeah.
It can take you back in a second.
The art critic Walter Pater says all art aspires to the condition of music because of music's ability to do just that. It's an empathy engine. I mean, it's a nostalgia machine. Music is so powerful.
You're so philosophical, Miles.
Down Under by Men at Work at number 4. Who doesn't love Men at Work?
For the year?
The great Colin Hay.
Down under.
I never loved that song.
Oh, I love that song.
Love Me. I got to see Colin Hay and Men at Work recently here at the Fillmore in New Orleans, and he still got it, still hitting all the notes. Down at number 17, how about Hungry Like the Wolf by Duran Duran?
Oh, that is a really good one.
Yeah.
You know what it makes me think of, Missy? That Lifetime movie where the mom kills her kids.
Oh, that Farrah Fawcett's in.
Yes.
She's listening
song.
to that when she kills her kids. Oh my gosh, that's horrible. And it's a true story.
I know. But I still like that song.
Mm.
Yeah. So some great music from this year, 1983.
Excellent.
What about television, Miles?
Well, television, Dallas, the primetime soap with Larry Hackman, was dominating the ratings in 83. It was the most watched show in America that fall.
Did you ever
we have a question for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
You lived out in the country as well. Not as much as we
Not
did.
as much as
you
us,
were
though.
in town a little closer than us.
Much closer.
Y'all get CBS? Because we didn't before there was cable, which I think it was approaching about this time. But we didn't get CBS. And CBS had the top shows for the first 4 years of the 80s.
Dukes
and I
of
feel
Hazzard.
like we missed out.
We didn't get Dallas, Dukes of Hazzard.
Those are not things we watched growing up.
We did get CBS, although I don't think I've ever watched a complete episode of Dallas. It just wasn't my bag exactly.
Yeah. What about Dynasty?
Now, my parents were into Dynasty, so I did sort of take that in by osmosis.
Yeah.
Yep. Same for us.
But neither of those series struck much of a nerve with me.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
But the next year in 1984, Miami Vice started, and that's when I became a television fiend.
I can totally see that.
Oh, he was about some Miami Vice. Seriously.
I bet because you're such the actor, you would play it out, act it out, and you were Crockett.
Sonny Crockett, yeah.
I see it.
Sonny Crockett. September 16, 1984. So little less than a year from when The Big Chill opened, Miami Vice had its pilot episode.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we've talked about it for sure. On the TV guide.
But yeah, go ahead.
On the TV guide, we have Janet, Jack, and what was
Chrissy.
Terry?
Chrissy.
No, but this is Terry.
Oh, she had taken over for Suzanne
Three's
Summers.
Company.
That's
Yeah.
right. She moved in.
Chrissy had left, and this
One
is Terry.
blonde out, one blonde in.
Mm-hmm. And it looks like a sketch almost, like it's not their actual picture.
Yeah.
This show, you told me this, Missy, but I don't remember. I just remember seeing it in syndication, was controversial.
It was very controversial. Yeah.
I'm looking, at the TV guide, and
people didn't want their daughters watching shows about having a male roommate. The male roommate pretended to be gay, but he wasn't. He was actually lusting after the girls.
Right.
Mr. Roper was kind of creepy. There was a lot of controversy about
well,
it.
I used to watch it after school and thought it was a hoot. So
I can't believe it was on after school for kids.
I thought it was
watch
funny.
an ABC special.
I loved Jack Tripper. So, but yeah.
Anything else about TV?
No, No, I mean, like he said, Dallas is in the win. So,
Yeah.
oh wait,
Well-
Benson. Do y'all remember
Was
Benson?
that the cute little black boy?
No, that's Webster.
Oh, Webster. Yeah. Benson was a butler.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
He was fantastic.
Yeah, I used to watch Benson, and then Webster's right after it. Benson and then Webster.
Well, that's probably where my mind went because we probably watched them back to back. Well, on people.
I have one more.
Okay, good.
The number 2 rated television program was in 1983?
What?
You don't have a guess?
Well,
Dynasty,
I mean,
Dynasty,
I know,
by the
I
way,
don't,
was number 3. We mentioned Dynasty.
It was like 60 Minutes or
That's
something.
it,
Maybe.
60 minutes.
Yeah, it's yeah.
I was thinking
this
it
was right before like Cosby Show and like all those family sitcom type shows.
Right.
Like this is like right on the cusp of that because when we've done this, we've also had like The Love Boat and all those good old shows.
I know we've mentioned it before.
Number 4, by the way, the A team. The A team.
Yeah.
A-Team.
So Dallas, 60 Minutes, Dynasty, the A team. Those are the.
Did you ever watch Fantasy Island? Welcome to Fantasy Island.
I did.
Ricardo Montalban.
Oh, yeah. Deplane.
I did. To me, that was like very similar.
So much of the 80s is now considered politically incorrect.
Yes, inappropriate.
All right, so the cover of People magazine was one of their favorites of the year. It was the best and worst dressed. On the cover, you see John Travolta in his, I guess that was when he came back. Is that not?
What is that?
I think that's like the sequel. I think that's a picture from the sequel to Saturday Night Fever, which I think was Staying Alive.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like in leg warmers and a fancy pair of whitey tights.
He's like half naked.
He's half naked doing a big spread eagle jump. You've got Mr. T. You've got Fidel Castro. Obviously, I guess I don't know if that's considered best dressed or worst dressed. And you've got who was probably the most beautifully dressed of the year, then, now, forever, Princess Diana.
We see her so often.
I know.
Especially
Such an
on our
icon.
People magazine clips. All right, so time for Do You Remember? Y'all ready?
Here we go, yeah.
Do you remember? I'm bringing back Ronald Reagan. Do you remember Ronald Reagan's Star Wars program? Anybody remember?
Yep.
Nope.
So, Missy, since you don't remember, this was actually not really it was nothing to do with the movie, but it was his program that would intercept missiles or whatever like that could hurt us and intercept them so that they would
out of the sky. Yeah.
Yeah. Intercept them out of the sky, which is really awesome.
Yeah.
Anyway, they like nicknamed it Star Wars.
Okay. And that happened right around the time of the movie, huh? 83?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
What about you, Miles? You have a Do You Remember?
Do you remember that Hot Pockets came out in the year 1983?
I didn't remember the year, but I loved me a Hot Pocket back in the day.
You say the word Hot Pocket and immediately, what are you gonna pick?
Hot Pocket.
Like,
are Hot Pockets still around?
Yeah, they're still around.
Yes.
And then they have like fat-free ones and stuffed with veggies. And
oh yeah, they're around. Don't you worry.
do you still buy them? Like, do your kids like them, Amanda?
No, but Madison, like when they have friends over, they like, I don't know, they love to have stuff like that. So we don't buy them typically, but if like kids are coming over here, we would have them maybe.
I probably haven't eaten a Hot Pocket in 30 years. But
I'm surprised. Like I would think you've never eaten one.
Well, no, I definitely, as a kid, I ate them. I thought they were super cool. Of course, you could have like pepperoni pizza flavor and
broccoli and cheese.
Broccoli and cheese.
I mean, a little healthier there.
I mean, turkey bacon club. I mean,
yeah.
You know what though? What people like more that is similar to that are the pizza rolls. That's what they really like. It's a similar idea, but it's just the little bite. So
I I definitely like a pizza roll, something smaller, better than the big Hot Pocket. Okay, I'm so excited about my Do You Remember? Because I was just researching things that were big in the early 80s. And so I don't know if this is exactly 83. Do you remember Spencer Gifts? Yes, they are still around, okay, some places, but not really. But you'd go in a mall and there'd be a Spencer Gifts. And they had cool t-shirts and they had rock band stuff and probably some pop culture stuff. But there was a naughty section
Yeah.
with like different shaped cups that you might get to give as a gag gift. But I remember being like that in the 82, 83 year, not driving yet, getting dropped off at the mall, going into Spencer Gifts.
Did we have a Spencer at Cloverleaf?
We got, no.
Turtle Creek.
Yeah. No. Jackson. We would go to the Jackson Mall and we'd just like be dropped off to be able to, go shop at the big mall. And we would sneak into Spencer Gifts and like, laugh at all the like not X-rated stuff, but we sure thought it was. And along with that, it made me think of a store that we did have in Cloverleaf Mall that I loved.
What was
Camelot Music.
Music?
Camelot Music.
Camelot Music.
That's probably where you went after you listened to the Big Chill, Miles, and you went to buy the soundtrack.
I was a frequent purveyor of Camelot Music, for sure.
Camelot Music was everything. Absolutely everything. And
99
I will tell you,
cents is what the little LP, was that called an LP or an EP?
the little one.
The little ones. Miles probably
like
knows.
a 45? 45.
A 45, and then the regular album was called a LP?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm about to call you out because once we were all driving and whatnot, every day in the summer, he would go to Camelot Music and buy a tape or a CD. I swear.
You were spoiled rotten.
He'd be like, we just got to swing by Camelot, y'all. Let's swing by Camelot. I got to get this, whatever.
Probably a soundtrack for a movie he had just watched.
Exactly.
I have always loved music. To this day, one of my favorite things to do in the whole world's come home from work, put on a vinyl record, drink a martini, hang with my girls. It's the best. And it is a kind of addiction because, vinyl is not cheap. Nor are quality turntables and styluses and all the accoutrement you need to play it. But still having that problem of can't stop buying music.
That's great. I love it. Well, let's get into the movie. There's a lot to say about this one. And I know that Miles is going to blow us away with stories and facts and all of that. But as we jump in, we will say that The Big Chill was directed by Lawrence Kasdan, who had already helped write two major hits, Raiders of the Lost Ark and Empire Strikes Back. And just FYI, the name of the movie is The Big Chill, but the working title was called The Survivors.
Glad they changed that because that sounds
action
real like a downer.
Yeah. Now, before we started, Miles, you said you had a story about Kasdan.
Yeah. So I was, after college, I was living out in Los Angeles. This would have been the very late 90s or early aughts, somewhere around 99, 2000 maybe. And I was having lunch with a friend at Toy Thai Restaurant on Sunset in Los Angeles. And across the way, having dinner, or lunch rather, were Larry Kasdan and Cameron Crowe. Say Anything, Jerry Maguire, almost fame. Well, both of these filmmakers had been heroes of mine. And as you mentioned, Larry Kasdan had co-written scripts for Raiders of the Lost Ark, The Empire Strikes Back, he's, and made The Big Chill. So I never approach people in public, but I was with a college classmate of mine who sort of goaded me into it, and just walked over and said to both of them, I really don't mean to interrupt your lunch, but I just want to take a moment to tell you how much I admire both of you and your work. And I said to Kasdan, The Big Chill in particular was a film that was absolutely formative for me. And I just appreciate what you did with that film. And they asked me to sit down and
No way.
yeah.
You lie.
And we had, maybe a 15 or 20-minute conversation. And then my friend and I extricated ourselves because, they were clearly talking business and whatnot. But it was really, both of them were so generous and gracious with their time. So that meant a great deal to me. They say never meet your heroes. You'll be disappointed every time. But in this particular case, it was a quite positive experience. The only problem that you run into with something like that is, you get a chance to talk for 15 or 20 minutes with an artist you truly and deeply admire. What piece of work do you talk about, right? I mean, what
I was just about to say, give us one snippet of
what was it like, writing Raiders of the Lost Ark? Or, I mean, it's like, it's
overwhelming.
Yeah.
You don't have unlimited time with them.
Right. Exactly.
What do I ask? What do I ask? What do I ask?
I know exactly what I would have asked, but you would never have asked.
What?
I would have been like, Cameron, tell me everything about Tom. I would have been going straight for the Jerry Maguire talk.
Yeah. It's a great script.
All right. So as you said, the screenplay was written by Kasdan. The director, Barbara Benedict. Do you say Benedict?
Barbara Benedict. Yeah, was the co. Yeah.
The idea for the movie came from writer Lawrence Kasdan's own college friendships and reunions, which is super cool to me.
Yes. But before we get into the ensemble, I have a quick question, Miles, going back to your encounter. Did anything ever come where you saw that those two had a collab on anything? Like you were like, I bet they were planning that at my meeting.
I'm almost sure they've worked together at some point. But you can, I mean, their styles, their writing styles are quite similar. I mean, you can kind of see some overlap in the way the dialogue and the relationships and the group dynamics in something like The Big Chill and Say Anything, for example, overlap. And Say Anything, I think, comes out pretty quickly after this, right?
Yeah, I think so. We've
done it, but I don't remember.
Say Anything, but I don't remember the year.
No,
I may have been.
It's quite a bit later. It's 1989. Wow, that seems
such a far stretch.
Right.
Time flies.
Yeah, indeed. I think it's because, like I was saying earlier, I saw The Big Chill, rented The Big Chill in about 1988, and then saw Say Anything shortly thereafter.
That makes sense.
But you can see a similarity of styles in the way they write movies.
Yeah.
So I'm
very character driven.
Yes, I'm sure that Larry was a bit of a mentor for Cameron. But we'll have to look that up. And if
Amanda can share it on social with the real fans.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, talk to us about the cast, Miles.
Well, this is the very definition of an all-star cast. Brilliant actors in this. Starting with Kevin Kline, who plays Harold Cooper, who, along with his wife Sarah, played by Glenn Close, is hosting this weekend gathering, this reunion. Tom Berenger plays Sam Weber, the actor, on JT Lancer, a sort of spoof on Magnum PI.
Yes.
The sort of unsung hero of the piece, probably my favorite character in the piece, is William Hurt, playing Nick. JoBeth Williams is Karen, who I had an immense crush on when I was younger. And then Jeff Goldblum, of course, as Michael. Can't forget Jeff Goldblum, who went on to have an incredible career. Such a unique performance style and arresting actor in everything you see him in. And then Mary Kay Place rounding out the main cast. So
Is that Chloe?
No. What is her?
Oh, Mary Kate is
Meg. Meg is her character's name.
Yes.
Now, Chloe is played by Meg Tilly.
Okay. She's precious. Okay.
Meg Tilly, but
Yeah.
Mary Kay Place plays Meg.
Yes. Okay.
And then there is a really big star, Miles, who we see only in the opening sequence, but the entire movie is about his character.
That's right. Kevin Costner was cast as Alex, the friend whose passing brings this group back together. And he actually shot scenes for this film, all of which were cut. So all we see of him now is his forehead and hands and ankles as his body is being prepared for his funeral.
Interesting. I didn't know it was Kevin Costner.
Yeah.
Well, when you talk about the cast, they went like above and beyond to really build a bond between them. They actually did like a multi-day retreat. And then they did that before filming started because they wanted to have like a natural chemistry, which I think shows. And they would even stay on set when filming wasn't going on, rather, I guess, than going to their trailers, yeah, because they really wanted to maintain that ensemble feel.
Well, it paid off.
It
totally felt like they were the best of friends. The film is rated R, as Miles already told us earlier, and runs an hour and 45 minutes, such the sweet spot. I thought going into it was going to be much longer. Before I started watching, I was like, ooh, I got to check how long this is. Saw an hour and 45, and I was like, yes. It was made on a budget of about $8 million and earned more than $56 million worldwide.
It also received 3 Academy Award nominations, including Best Picture, Best Original Screenplay, and a Best Supporting Actress nod for the wonderful Glenn Close.
I'm surprised they give Academy Awards for like soundtracks and stuff, don't they? Or would that be more of like a Grammy?
Well, it would be there's
like original song
that's
or
right, original
something
song
like that.
and score.
Yeah.
So none of these
were original.
Yeah, it wouldn't have fit in.
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah, but it did. So I'm just double checking. So it had nominations, but it didn't win any.
That is correct.
Wow, that surprises me. Okay,
all right.
It was probably like what was that? Like the Emperor? I don't know. Some movie that I didn't even see that won.
Yeah, that happens a lot. That we find. Well, real fans, settle in for some nostalgia. Let's go through the big chill scene by scene.
All right, real fans. Now, Miles, I'm counting on you because you know this movie so well to interject anything important that we have maybe missed as we were, because I was really into watching this. And so as I'm taking my notes, I'm like, oh gosh, I hope I'm getting everything, because there's so many characters and so many things and storylines happening. I was just hoping I didn't miss something important.
Go ahead.
All right, so we
Okay.
start.
Y'all lead it. I'm just going to jump in and share a thought or two. I'm gonna let you two take the reins of this scene by scene. Here we go.
Well, we start off where Harold is bathing his son, and everything seems fine. And we hear the phone ring, and Sarah answers, and we see her walk into the bathroom, and she's got tears. She's crying.
It's
and
bad news.
He knows it's bad news. Like, we immediately know something bad has happened. And I just have a sidebar here. Kevin Kline, I don't know if I've ever really thought this before, but he is a cutie.
Yeah, he was cute in this movie.
He was real cute. So I was pleasantly surprised and happy with that. Okay, so we know something bad has happened, and this is when we start getting the like scenes of all the different people in the cast or in the friend group getting ready to come to what we find out is going to be Alex's funeral. It is, the main titles are this like montage is mixed in with I Heard It Through the Grapevine, and it's like a great song as we're seeing the friends each getting ready. Now, what's cool about this montage, 80s love a montage, y'all.
I love a montage.
I do too. So many movies we've talked about montage, is we get a little peek into each character's life, like a very small peek as they're getting ready. Like we see Meg with her briefcase. She's like in a high-rise building, and so we can tell she's like a business lady. We see Karen, who is like clearly a stay-at-home mom, homemaker. We see Sam on the cover of US Weekly, like he's flying in, and the airline stewardess is like showing him.
I think it's Us Weekly.
Yeah, what did I say?
US. But that's
Us
okay.
Weekly. Sorry, I don't know why I said US.
Miles is ready to jump in.
I know. Go.
Oh, I was just going to comment on all the little airplane bottles that Sam has.
Yep. That's a little peek into his life. And I thought this was interesting because I thought about it when it happened. And then as the movie moved on, it just like added to his character. We see, what was Jeff Goldblum's character's name? Michael. We see him, like a girl comes as he's like getting his stuff ready. And I think he's like looking for batteries. And she comes in and hugs him. And so immediately I'm thinking, is that his girlfriend? And I tuck that away for later, which is funny as you watch him through the actual movie. And so mixed in with the montage of the friends getting ready, we're seeing little clips of Alex's body being prepared for the funeral. But like y'all said, there's no face. We don't have a face to the person. We just see little shots of different parts. But what we do see on his wrists are stitches. So we know that this was a suicide. So once we get to the funeral, this takes place in South Carolina, and you can tell there's some like Kevin Kline has his southern twang. They gather at the church for the service. And so the core group of friends that we have are Sam, Meg, Michael, Nick, Karen, and Chloe. And Chloe was Alex's younger girlfriend, much younger. And she's a cutie. But along with this group, Karen also brings her husband. So he is there too.
You can tell from the get-go, this guy is the stick in the mud.
Totally.
He's he's just like
100%.
Coming along for the ride. He's just tolerating this.
Totally. You can tell because as they're sitting in the church, some of them are sitting together, but not all of them. And you can see them kind of like looking at each other around the church. And when she looks back and makes eye contact with Sam, you then see her husband kind of lean forward and look at him. And it's just kind of a like, makes
you know,
go,
right then I was like, oh, they were a thing.
Kind of makes you go, oh, what's the deal here? And also, speaking of Chloe being the younger girlfriend, funny note is that Nick asks Michael to keep I think it was Nick asked Michael to keep an eye on. She's really having a hard time. So keep an eye on.
Harold.
You're right. Harold, not Nick. Sorry. Nick, not there. Harold asks, see, this is why I need you here. Harold asks Michael to keep an eye on her because she's having a hard time. And he's like, no problem. So that is, again, when I'm like, wait, doesn't he have a girlfriend? I'm not sure.
All right, Miles, jump in. Talk to us about all this so far.
Well, one of the real high points of this movie for me happens really early on when Karen is invited up to the stage to play one of Alex's favorite songs, and she begins the opening chords of the Rolling Stones, You Can't Always Get What You Want.
Yeah.
I think that the musical choices, once again, are so appropriate, and they have this sort of thematic quality to them. Like they fit beautifully into the narrative. As Amanda already mentioned, I heard it through the grapevine, and you can't always get what you want, but if you try, sometimes you just might find you get what you need, which seems to be what's happening here. Alex brings all these people together, and they all find something that heretofore in their lives has been missing. And then slowly we transition into this needle drop cue of the actual Rolling Stones tune.
Yes.
I
loved that.
Yeah. I can't imagine
so good
how much it was on this. I think they spent a lot of money in synchronization rights. But then as we caravan the funeral procession to the cemetery, You Can't Always Get What You Want continues to play as we are with the various characters in the different cars and getting to know them a little bit more. And it's just kind of one of those really, really cinematic moments, and another moment where music elevates the proceeding.
It brings it together beautifully. The other thing I love about that part is when she starts playing it, the friend group, like it really hits them. Yeah. And some of it, like they kind of get not tickled, but just you can tell it resonates with them. Like it was meaningful. And I really, really loved that. Thinking about in a moment like that with the people you love, a certain song hitting for that group. I love that. Yeah.
Well, we've talked about it before. We'll say it again. I mean, music brings people together. I mean, it just does.
And I think a fun fact is the funeral scene was shot on the very first day of production, which is not, we've talked about this before. Things like that don't always happen in order. But I think that's, I like it when it does. It makes sense to me.
Actually, they shot a lot of the movie in order because they were trying to build that feeling, which made me think back to E.T. when they did that. But they did as much as they could based on a couple of different things. I read that in research that they
have you ever done that, Miles, with a movie?
Unfortunately, no. But if you can do it, it's a great idea for exactly the reasons you guys are articulating, right? The actors in particular and the performances get to build chronologically as the emotional highs and lows and the narrative moves forward. It's always a great idea to shoot in chronological order. It's very rarely possible.
That's what I was just going to say. Does it happen very often? I don't think so. It
doesn't happen very often for logistical reasons, right? Locations, availability of money, day, night shoots, these sorts of things.
One of the things I was going to say that might fit here that I saw in my research is, a lot of the scenes it's kind of rainy and overcast. And so they had to bring in and I don't know what the word is, Miles, but they would bring in, I'm imagining it's like a tarp type thing to block the sun so that there was consistency in the look of the film.
Mm. Yeah, because there's that one scene where they're walking in the field and Michael says to Harold, no, it's raining.
Yeah.
Oh, it's funny. Okay, so like you said, we get a more of a little glance into their lives their lives as they are going to the cemetery, driving there together. We get to the burial, and there's like some sort of awkward conversations here. Like Karen introduces her husband to Sam, aka JT Lancer. That is super awkward.
Awkward alert. Yes.
And then everyone ends up heading to Harold and Sarah's home. Now, was this their home or their vacation home? Because there were two homes. I think this was the vacation home. And everyone heads there after the funeral for Gino, like the typical after funeral gathering.
But it's funny because whenever they end up staying, like he tells her, like they're all staying, it's like nobody had really talked about staying, but everybody
yeah, I think
was
there
staying.
was like I think Karen and her husband were going to stay one night. Like some people were like, oh, I might stay. And then it ended up that they all stayed, which was great. All right. So everyone's deciding they're going to stay. Everyone's getting situated in the house. And we get another montage, similar to like what we saw in the opening credits where everyone's unpacking, and we get some more tidbits. Like we see Sam put his script on the nightstand, and Karen and Richard are not going to sleep in the same bed. They have two separate beds. So we're getting more insight into all of their lives. But the funny thing, I don't know if y'all noticed this or if it was just me, but everybody's unpacking their stuff and they've all got their little different things, but everyone has the little mini hair dryer. But they're like, everyone pulls out their mini hair dryer, like their travel little hair dryer in a different color.
Totally didn't notice that.
Oh, I did. I thought it was so funny. It really cracked me up. Now, the other funny thing is that, well, I don't know if it's funny, but as everybody's unpacking, Nick is in his car in the trunk with all these just random clothes. So he's brought his random clothes with him, but also a thing of cocaine. I don't know what you call it.
Like taped under the car.
Yeah, like taped under the car. So he's got his cocaine with him.
Yeah.
And it's apparent that they're all, have a history together. And we also get the sense that there's a lot that's changed since they were friends in their college days.
So then we get various conversations as the friends begin to interact. Meg, who is a single, high-powered lawyer, expresses her desire to have a baby because her biological clock is ticking, and she says that the one thing that she always knew she wanted was a child. And she also shares with Sarah, Glenn Close's character, that these are the best guys she ever knew, the guys here staying the weekend at Harold and Sarah's place. So she is sort of beginning to narrow down her options and see who she's going to make a move on, eliminating Harold from the conversation, obviously, because he's married to Sarah. And she thinks Nick is the stud, if you will, that is going to give her a child.
I have something to say here about, is it Mary? How do you pronounce her name? Her last name, is it Place or Place? Place. As soon as I saw her, I was like, I know her. Big Love. She was on Big Love, the HBO series. Yep. Just had to say that.
Mm-hmm. I loved her. Anyway, go ahead.
Oh yeah. So anyway, the friends continue to hang out before everyone goes to bed. Everyone's spent and exhausted from the long day and from the
funeral.
Yeah, the emotionality of losing their friend and the funeral and whatnot. I don't know if emotionality is a word, but you get what I'm saying.
It would work in Wicked, emotionality.
The emotional toll, let's say.
There you go.
So Nick has recused himself to the attic where he's snorting some cocaine. When Meg comes in and starts to put the moves on him, to which he responds, "Did I ever tell you what happened to me in Vietnam?" And
Talk about a mood killer.
Yeah. And we cut back downstairs to the friends who are still up, and we get this scream, thinking, on the surface that this is Meg's response to what Nick told her. But in fact, we find out that there is a bat in the attic. And here we get a little homage to Raiders of the Lost Ark, which Larry Kasdan keenly injects into the proceeding, because as Harold is going upstairs with a tennis racket to take care of the bat, he hums da-da-dum-dum.
That's right. Oh my gosh. It's all coming together in my head now. Yes.
That's right. And it's so funny because Sarah's like, it's okay. They eat the mosquitoes. Like, she's just like, it's not a big deal. But the men of the group kind of team up to get rid of the bats. And it's really cute. But at this point, everyone's getting tired. They're heading to bed. And we get some insight here how upset Sarah is about Alex's death.
Mm-hmm.
We see her sobbing in the shower, again with the 80s nudity. Miles, the movies we've done this season, it's been a lot of nakedness. A lot.
Like just bearing
Just
it
like,
all.
Here it is, like no big deal. Hers isn't as, in your face as some of the others we've seen. But yes, we get her in the shower scene. And again, that 80s nudity is just unhinged. So
I want to say something that I saw in my research about that scene is that she did it in just 2 takes because she, like, it sounds from the research like this entire cast was like all in to their character. And she was just fully anchored. And so she nailed it.
I have a question, Miles, for you about Sarah and Alex.
Okay.
What do you think she seemed more upset. Do you think she was just close? Like, what do you, is there anything you read into that?
Yeah, they had
an affair.
Okay, that's what I thought. And I was like, did I miss? Like, okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, in the scene where Harold and Nick are walking on that foggy morning,
yes,
it talks about the affair. And
okay.
It says they only slept together a few times, but in some way their love affair went all the way back to Ann Arbor, meaning to college.
Right. Okay. That's okay.
And didn't he say something like it's actually strengthened our marriage or something like that, like going through it?
It may be so.
I was thinking that he did because I thought
they clearly had an affair.
They knew. Yeah.
Okay.
So she was particularly
invested.
Invested, mm-hmm. by in him and
his death. Yeah. Mm. All right. Well, then we get, it's later that night, and this is so awkward. Sam, Nick, and Karen's husband, Richard, end up, like happenstance, converging in the kitchen because Richard is in there having his late night snack that Karen just doesn't ever know he has.
Milk and cookies. I know it may not have been that.
It's a sandwich and milk.
He's
and it's like such a leave it to Beaver. That Karen doesn't even know. He gets up in the middle of the night and just sits in the quiet of his house, blah, blah, blah. And so they get into this whole conversation about responsibility and growing up and the challenges of adulthood. And Richard is, I think, a little off-putting because he doesn't even know these people or Alex. And he's kind of insinuating that, if Alex was having a hard life, he just needs to suck it up, Buttercup, and not commit suicide because life's hard. Like, he delivers the line, and I hope I get it right, but basically he says, nobody said it was going to be fun. At least nobody said it to me. Yeah. And it also gives us an insight to like his state of mind and where he is in his life and family and marriage and unhappiness.
Well, he even says in that same scene that he enjoys this time alone.
Yes.
He gets his midnight snack and he doesn't have to I'm paraphrasing now, but he doesn't have to worry with the family and what. And I think that's telling. It's an interesting window into where their marriage is.
But I get it too.
I knew it from the first shot at that guy. I knew it.
Yeah.
Now Chris Washam would say, "Oh, he's making they're just making the general man look bad, just the everyday man look bad." But I knew it. I knew it from the first shot.
But I will say, Richard, I understand. I like to be home alone myself.
Yeah.
So I don't begrudge you for that. Okay, but not too much. So the next morning, Harold and Nick go for a run. Every morning, Harold goes for his run with his New Balance. And it's funny because he comments and tells Nick he's going to get him some better running shoes, which does happen. And this is where Harold spills the beans to Nick about all of his stores being bought by a large corporation and tips him off to how the stock value is going to go up, which is totally illegal to do this. And he tells him, it's fine. I've told Alex, and he thought that would be able to help Alex out. But now Alex is dead. So maybe Nick could use that money to get himself off drugs and get off the right path. This, at first I'm sitting there thinking this is so illegal, but it also highlights, you can tell he's doing it. He's saying it from a good place. And it highlights how much he cares for how much Harold cares for his friends.
Yeah. And this is also the scene where he talks about the affair.
Yes. Okay. And I was obviously focused on that stock money. Yeah. I was like, whoa.
I was thinking, man, I wish I had a friend that would give me some intel like that.
I was like, holy cow.
You know how I kind of like to just add in my findings. One of the things that was interesting is that Kevin Kline actually worked with a business coach and also had a mentor who was a big businessman because he, again, wanted to be fully into his role. So that's one of the ways he prepared.
Oh, these people are so good. So at this point, everybody's just decided to stay for the whole weekend. And so Karen sends Richard home to watch the kids.
Be with the kids. Go ahead on kids.
She's going to stay and reconnect with her friends. And he is so utterly confused about what Karen sees in them, which is another way that it's just he's a fuddy-dud, right? Yeah. Go home.
That's the word, Amanda, fuddy-dud.
He's a fuddy-dud. All right. So this is where we see Sam and Karen. They're going to shop for dinner. Mm-hmm. This is where also we get a clip where we're seeing everyone doing their different things. And so Sam and Karen are going shopping and getting to kind of reconnect. And Meg is telling Sarah now that she's considering Sam since Nick is not going to work as the sperm donor. So she's going to ask Sam to be the father of her baby. I love this part. Meg's sweatsuit looks super comfy. And I love it. It has that little collar. And it just reminded me of what you and Mom used to wear back at that time.
Same thought. I was like,
ooh, that's
I may have had that very one. Who
knows?
It
looked so comfortable. And she is making an apple pie that looks super yummy. I was like, I want to get in on that. Oh my goodness,
that's funny. All right, Miles, jump in. What do you want to add to what's going on?
Well, I mean, I think this is a moment where we really begin to sense the nature of the connection between Karen and Sam. Mm-hmm. As they're shopping together, you really see, hey, these two not only had something previously, clearly, but there's still an attraction between them. And, fortunately, Richard has decided to go back home,
hit the road,
be with the kids, because clearly he's the fish out of water here. And we really get the sense that something is
a brewing.
Something's brewing. And I'll say it again. I knew it from the church scene. I was like, they're going to hook up. And if I had seen this as an 8-year-old, I wouldn't have had that intuition. But I was like, I've seen enough movies to know he's a fuddy-dud. She was with him, and they're hooking up this weekend.
That's right.
Yep.
And I will say, just talking about Meg and her sweatsuit, Karen is the epitome of high fashion. She's no like homely stay-at-home mom.
No, yeah, she's all about
She's
the
got it
fashion.
together. So while they're at the store, Nick starts fooling around. This is so cute. He starts fooling around with a video camera. And we see him doing this funny, like, recording of himself where he's the interviewer and the interviewee. And when the camera pans out, we see Chloe sitting on the stairs. He can't see her, but she's sitting on the stairs and she can hear him, and she's giggling at his antics. And it's a really sweet moment, seeing her kind of giggle at this during a sad time for her.
So
yeah,
another,
I thought
another connection beginning to form here.
yes, exactly.
And which is then really pointed up in the next scene where the guys and Sam and Nick and Harold and Chloe, well, Michael goes too. They all go, I guess.
Yeah.
They go out to see the cabin that's on Harold and Sarah's land, and it's clear that Nick immediately forges a kind of connection to this place. And in a private moment, Chloe tells Nick that he reminds her of Alex. Where he promptly responds, I'm not Alex.
Yeah.
But
did that scene when they were like in the Jeep, did that take you guys back to St. Elmo's fire?
I thought about it when they were on the Jeep.
Oh my gosh. It was so much like that Jeep scene.
Yeah, I definitely thought about that. But I did think it was interesting that he was immediately like, but I'm not Alex. Like, was he resisting that? I don't know. It was interesting. I love this scene. But I'm sure you do too, Miles. So I don't want to take it away from you if you want to talk about our dinner scene and the cleaning up. And
I love this scene.
We have some good music coming in. I'll start us off with the dinner and you can take over on the cleaning up. But we have, they had gone to the store to get all this food to make dinner. And it's funny because as they're making dinner, suddenly Nick calls everybody into the living room to watch the opening for the show JT Lancer. And it's pretty funny. It is absolutely like an 80s Magnum PI show. And of course, Sam's embarrassed because he's not super proud of the work on the show. But they all do the thumbs up and cheer. And he's like, oh, whatever. So anyway, we cut to dinner and it's like a Thanksgiving feast. I'm like, what? I'm like, what in the world?
They pulled it together.
We see Michael like whispering in Chloe's ear, still trying to make a move on this poor girl. He's totally into her. And this is where Sarah gets like really emo at dinner and she's missing Alex. She kind of, I don't know, ruins the mood a little bit, brings it down. Although that is what they're there for. And she talks about how much she loves the whole group. And Sam's like, yeah, I understand. I feel like we've all gotten a little lost. And they're kind of debating about this a bit when Nick breaks the tension and says, well, I know what Alex would say. He would say, what's for dessert?
Yeah, and William Hurt has all the best lines.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I think Jeff Goldblum has some good ones.
He has some good ones too, but
what I love is Chloe, the only one at the table, bursts into laughter. It's really cute. She's precious, I think. So, all right, take it away, Miles. I know you love this part.
So the cleanup, right? After dinner, Harold puts on some cleanup music, and it is "Ain't Too Proud to Beg," which is another crackerjack banger of a song. Which I love the earlier Jeff Goldblum Michaels when they're playing Whiter Shade of Pale and Tracks of My Tears. Michael comments that, do you have any music from, say the last 10 years?
Yeah, that's right.
Because it's all like 60s, right, stuff. And Michael says, or Harold says, there is no other music in this house, which is a great little insight into who Harold is, right? He's a little bit sort of stuck in the past, sort of set in his ways, doesn't want to entertain new ideas necessarily. But so, of course, here we get the Temptations, Ain't Too Proud to Beg, and as they dance and clean up. It's just one of those great moments. Anytime you want to really lift the audience, have characters dance to a great song.
Yes.
It's one of those tried and true formulas in a movie.
It is. And it is one that we see often, like in a movie, to, as you said, like lift that up. And if you see a montage of 80s movies, this one is always in it, this little scene.
And I think what's most important about this scene particularly, yes, you can use that as a tactic. Doesn't always work, but it works here. It feels super authentic and real. And I think that's a testament to the cast and their closeness and the work they put into this, because it feels very authentic. Again, Michael tries to pull Chloe into the dance, and she like kind of rebuffs him like she's got wet hands from the sink. He's like, okay. I love Jeff Goldblum so much. He's so funny to me. So yeah, afterwards they do their cleaning up, and this is really funny because we've got Karen, Harold, Nick, and Sarah all four sitting on the couch smoking a joint. And it's really, though, only Karen and Sarah are. And I love this because this is just a line that I thought was hilarious. She's like, I know Richard will always be faithful to me. And Harold just kind of comments, that's trust. And then she shakes her head and says, no, fear of herpes.
Oh, yes. I remember that now. That was funny.
Yeah, I really love that. So Sarah's like, I can't keep my eyes open. Well, Nick's got a fix for that. Cut to Meg and Sam in the bedroom. So she's now propositioning Sam, and he's super sweet, but he's like, I can't be the father of your baby. Like, I have a daughter. It's just too big of a commitment. And she understands. Like, they're very sweet about it. It's, again, just like highlights their sweet friendship. We've got, all the while this is going on, we've got Michael has taken a Quaalude. And
there's a lot of drug use in this movie too.
Well, it's because Nick brought the goods.
I know.
I mean, that's why. But he took his Quaalude and dead asleep on the couch. But this is great because it gives Chloe and Nick a chance to connect. And they are like talking through the night. And she ends up sleeping, like curled up next to him. We also realize that Sarah definitely got some coke from Nick.
Right.
Because she's in bed with Harold trying to fall asleep, and she is just
babbling on.
Yeah, she's like totally hopped up. And they kind of get into a little bit of a tiff. Nothing major, but a little.
Harold says something like, remind me to get some more cocaine in the morning.
Yes, exactly. But she pays for it the next day, for sure, when she wakes up. Okay. So the next day, we've got the group, everybody except Nick is watching the Michigan football game. And I think this is, they also have they play football outside. Right. It's, all kinds of like fun, beautiful day. And suddenly we have a local police officer bring Nick back to the house after Nick has run a red light, and he's being a real butthole. He's being kind of belligerent. And so the police officer recognizes Sam as JT Lancer and is like, decides he'll let Nick off for running the red light if he'll do the jump into his car.
JT Lancer jump. Right.
The JT Lancer jump.
After which he proceeds to fail miserably and fall headfirst into the car and injure his arm in the process.
And everyone sees it. Yeah. And he's just like, can't. He's like, I've done this. He just can't get over that this has happened. He's definitely embarrassed.
And the cop kind of apologizes for messing with him and goes away. And at which point Nick confronts Harold about when he got so friendly with cops. Because of course Nick is very anti-establishment. and Harold rebuffs him and says, what are you doing, man?
Mhm.
Is jail another experience you want to try? And, talks about how he's dug in, he's built a life here, and he's not going to let Nick potentially
Mess that up.
complicate that, right?
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
they have a little tension between them after this moment.
Yes, for sure. Okay, so as we're going through the weekend, we start coming to some things start coming to a head. Karen finally expresses her feelings for Sam and shares that his own marriage ended due to boredom. And, they finally do end up sleeping together. And she even is like ready to leave her husband. And he's like, no, 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 no. I don't want to take on, I failed at that. That's not something that I want. But they do end up having the night together. And
they're not the only ones.
They end up having the night together. And I think, and it culminates with it ending on a good note, which we'll get to, but they have that night together. Chloe and Nick sleep together in the room that she shared with Alex. And does anybody want to tell this part, or am I going to tell it?
So as the weekend goes on, Sarah increasingly has a lot of empathy and concern about Meg having this kid and fulfilling this lifelong dream. And she basically offers up Harold.
Yes, she does.
As the sperm donor. And so she pulls Harold the same evening, pulls Harold into the pantry, which is where you have all of the big important conversations, and asks him to sleep with Meg. And he agrees, and he and Meg have sex that night, and on a bed that Harold says has always been lucky for he and Sarah.
I actually think it's so sweet. I know it's so weird, but I think it's so sweet. I don't know.
It just gave me the hippie-jibbies.
I knew it would make you feel that way. I just was like, this is so sweet.
I did not like it at all. I mean, I liked the sentiment of it, but
I thought it was so sweet.
I don't know. I'm just going to hush. Go ahead, Miles.
The only thing that was a little like off for me was the next morning. Harold comes into the kitchen and he's smiling, and then Sarah says, "You don't have to be so happy this morning," or I can't remember.
I liked that.
I thought that was funny.
I thought that was really funny. I liked that.
I thought that was like a good way to break the tension.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was a real. I mean, these people are very intimately connected,
Yes.
So I thought ultimately it made sense, because Harold was sort of the only option,
Only option left.
Yeah, I guess Michael. She kind of ruled out Michael because I guess they had a relationship previously and it didn't work out. But I thought it was.
Yeah, he kept being like, "What am I, chopped liver?"
Yeah.
All right. So who knows if she actually got pregnant or not? That was the other funny part. It's not a one and done, but maybe. But it would kind of be cool if she did.
Yeah.
So over breakfast the next morning, everything is kind of shifted. Like you said, Sarah was like, "Oh, you don't have to be so happy about it." But, he and Meg are kind to one another. Of course, we see Karen is clearly going to stay with Richard, but this was sort of, I think maybe, I don't know I don't know if we could say closure with her having that time with Sam. I don't know quite how to put my finger on it, but
I think that's apt. I
do too.
There was she needed that closure. They needed that moment together to sort of say, okay, we had this thing, we've had these feelings over the years, and we need to We need to
Yeah.
wrap it up, put a
Let's move on.
Yeah. And he was totally, and when he told her about his marriage ending, he was like, I don't want to, like, I don't want to be that guy. And you don't want to quit your marriage just because you're bored, essentially. And so I think
kudos to Sam, by the way, for both
100%.
and for telling Meg, I can't be responsible for another being's life.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to tell people you care about no.
Yeah, it is.
But I have a lot of respect for the way that character is written, because he's like, I know what I'm capable of and I can't be this or do this. So
yeah, really good.
Agree. And this part I love. We also find out that Nick and Chloe are going to stay at the house for a while.
Yeah.
And so we have this sense also that Harold and Nick have, I hate to say made up, because I don't think they were ever like, really split, but that they have talked, and Nick is going to try to get his life on the right track. And, maybe Chloe will be a part of that. Maybe she won't, but they definitely have a connection. So that was really, really sweet to see. And so, we have that concluding time, and it seems like everybody's going to be moving forward with renewed hope and the reconnection.
Yeah.
They swear they're gonna, not get so distant again.
And it's so easy. I think that's what, as we move into does it measure up? I don't know why I'm tearing up. But it's so easy for life to get in the way of those connections that we've made. Yeah. And so that's what made it measure up to me, and the music. As a matter of fact, Miles, I don't know if you know, there was a second album to the soundtrack, more songs from The Big Chill. So
that's like how Dirty Dancing was. They had a second one.
So that's my does it measure up? Yes, because life's too busy, and the music.
Well, we're all very lucky because we've known each other our whole lives, which is amazing.
Yeah.
We've had some other friends on like that too. So,
what
about y'all? Does it measure up? I know it does to Miles, but he probably has something to say. And you probably.
Well, I was just going to say that those kinds of relationships are so precious and rare. And it is very easy to lose touch. It is very easy to get lost in the cacophony of life. And I think from a very early stage in my life, I was fortunate to recognize that when you have that kind of connection with another human being, you've got to cherish it and you've got to nurture it. And coming back to the music, and Missy talking about music being able to take you to a place, you can immediately remember where you were when you heard a certain song, maybe for the first time, or how a certain song played in this narrative of your life, and you can smell that place, and you immediately go back. And so I think that's why the music is so critical, and why it plays so beautifully in this film. I mean, you think about the way they use a song like The Weight, which is, about the weight of the world and how all of us have to bear it, and taking a load off just for a moment. It can be this incredible kind of release. And what these friends are doing for one another is just that. They're carrying a little bit of the weight of each other's burdens. So in that way, I think it is a really beautiful film. And then further, I would add the performances for me.
Oh, absolutely.
Everyone is perfectly cast. I mean, these are some of the best actors of their generation. I mean, William Hurt and Kevin Kline and Goldblum and Glenn Close. I mean, these are stellar performers, masters of the craft. And it is clear that time was spent forging and working on these relationships, that they're clearly embodying these characters. Each of them have a unique voice, which is really tough in an ensemble piece like this. It's easy for all of the characters to sort of blend into each other and sound the same. But these characters are all very clearly, specifically drawn and on their own path. And I think that dynamic and sort of the interesting quirks and eccentricities of the characters coming together in a really, really beautiful way is another reason for me that this film measures up.
Good stuff. Sister?
It measures up for me. I love it. I thought it just felt so real to me. They felt like real friends that this was happening to. And I just have to say a couple things that hit for me in these 80s movies. I love the houses. Like when we see Glenn Close in the shower and it pans the bathroom and there's like stuff all over the counter and in the kitchen, like, again, like now when we have movies, it's not like that. It's like everything's perfect. And I don't know. I feel like you're really in their home and it was true. And like, it feels so authentic.
Yeah.
And they felt authentic. And shout out to Glenn Close with the permed mullet. Just
the permed mullet.
Just
oh my gosh.
Gotta shout out to her for letting that happen. Because it was awesome.
By the way, Larry Kaz and Cameron Crowe worked together at Rolling Stone magazine, so they go back a very.
Okay.
Oh, that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, I did a little research while we were on the pod.
All right. Well, that wraps up our rewind of The Big Chill. It's a film that brings old friends back together. And this felt like that perfect moment to have Miles back with us today.
Yep. He did a special request for this one.
He got it too.
Very, very happy to be a very old friend.
Oh, well, we were glad you were here. Thank you for joining us. Our real fans love it when you're here.
My pleasure.
All right, real fans. Normally, this is where we drop a few clues for next week's movie, but not this time, right, sister?
Not this time. We are taking a short break for Thanksgiving so we can enjoy some family time, food, and a little rest.
But we won't leave you hanging. While we're off, go back and watch one of our holiday episodes from last season.
That's right. We've covered some great ones, and they're perfect for this time of year. And Miles, it's right around your birthday.
It is indeed. It's a bit of a milestone birthday for me. I'm not sure how I feel about that exactly, but...
Big 5-0?
Yeah, it's coming.
Welcome to the club. Welcome to the club.
Yeah.
Well, happy Thanksgiving, happy birthday. And remember, real fans, leave us a 5-star review, take a screenshot, send it over to hello@Real Sisters Rewind, and Amanda will make sure you get a Real Sister sticker.
That's right. We'll see you after the holiday. Until then, enjoy time with your people and keep rewinding those memories.